everybody, it's me, Ryan,
Tabitha.
and we're here for another episode of Locked in Science. Today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite thing, glue.
Not everybody's favorite.
Yes, people who don't want to stick things to other things probably don't like glue quite as much as we do.
Maybe they'll just use tape like I love tape.
She does love tape. We go through a lot of tape in our house. So we're going to walk you through two quick activities that use glue today. And I know we've done glue activities before, but we thought, why not do some glue activities? All right, so what you're going to need if you want to follow along today is some clear glue.
Clear glue, clear glue, clear.
Now, it's important to note that clear glue and white glue, like Elmer's clear glue and Elmer's white glue, are slightly different consistencies. So the clear glue is much waterier and much less gluey. It's more kind of, it flows quite a bit more. So when we're doing experiments with clear glue and white glue, you can't always substitute one for the other. Just to let you know. I would not put your mouth on here just yet. Because that was in slime recently. The other thing is Stay-Flo liquid starch. I'm not advocating for this brand, but I don't think there is another one. So liquid starch, maybe there's a generic, I don't know. Liquid starch is great. If you made slime before, you may have liquid starch around. And we're doing sort of a modified slime recipe for our first thing today, so you may have that. The next thing is 2 tablespoons of flour. This is for the second experiment. 2 tablespoons of flour, a little bit of water, and a pinch of salt. Okay, let's get started on the first one. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to take some sort of bucket or... That's the smell of liquid starch. It is scented. And pour in about 5 ounces of clear glue. So 5 ounces of clear glue. I made this beforehand today because it's important that we get the consistency right. So what we're making today, sure, of course you can. What we're making today we're going to make slime bubbles. So super fun.
And we're going to make our own glue.
Yes, and then we're going to make our own glue. So slime bubbles are first, and it's important that you get the consistency right. What we're basically doing is we're making liquid starch slime without water. So you do get a pretty decent slime out of here, even without the water.
I broke it.
But it's important that you get the consistency right, or you're not going to be able to blow air into it. So, so I pre-made this just so I could be sure that it worked. So you want to pour in 5 ounces of clear glue, and then start pouring in a little bit of liquid starch. Now, you're probably not going to want to use more than about between 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of liquid starch. That's water. And pour it in sort of slowly so that you're sure you got the right consistency. Now, what you want the slime to be a little flowy.
Yeah, what you don't want it to be is a little rough and hard.
Yes. And you want to make sure that it's not too flowy. You want to be able to break a piece off, okay? See how when I break it off, you've got it basically looks like a broken part. It comes apart sort of like a rubbery slime. You want to be able to do that.
Water.
Otherwise, it's not going to be stable enough. That's for the second part. Otherwise, it's not going to be stable enough to take the air. So what we're going to do is break off. So you want to knead those together until you've got about this consistency, where it's pretty jiggly, right? And a little bit static.
Yeah, like...
Just like that. Exactly like that. If you can go chick-a-lick-a-lick-a-lick, then that's perfect. And you want to be able to break a piece off. Okay?
Yeah, and break a piece off, but make sure it's not too big.
Yeah.
Because if it was huge, the size of me, we want to be able to hold it.
That's true. Wise words. Now, the one thing I forgot to mention was a straw. So I'm going to be using, 2 weeks ago, we did bubble experiments with you guys, and I told you that the best possible bubble blower is a pipette with the top cut off. So I still have mine. Maybe you have yours, and I'm going to be using that to blow up this slime. So it's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to give it a few tries, and we'll see how well I do. Now, what you need to do is the air is going to be really good at escaping. So you want to pinch around the area where the air is going to come in. Oh, now I have a white cabinet, so you probably didn't see that bubble, but that was a nice little bubble. Here, just watch me, okay? Watch over my shoulder.
Ew, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Can I touch it?
Mm-hmm.
Sticky bubble.
And you did manage to pop it. Good job.
Can I try
Sure.
doing?
Okay. So you try blowing. Okay, I'm gonna stick it in here and I'll hold it in, okay? Oh, you almost got one. What you have to do is once you get a bubble, you have to really squeeze it to get all the air out or you're not gonna be able to get a second bubble. Okay? So I'm gonna put it in here. Now blow. Oh, you got, look at that! That was a good big bubble from you. Good job, Tabs.
I'm gonna do it again. It's fun.
All right, we'll do one more time, and then we've got to let our viewers move on. Okay. So put it in there. Make sure you pinch around the tip. Blow. Good job. Excellent, and that is how you make your own bubbles. Now, you can try, and this might require a friend, you can try, and when you've blown up the bubble, which I won't bother to attempt to do again, when you've blown up the bubble again, you can actually, if you have a syringe or anything like that, you can try filling that bubble with water. That's sort of advanced goal here. You can fill that bubble with water, and that will be a pretty cool little water balloon. You can get it with a syringe. You're gonna not necessarily pop it because it's gonna stick to the sides of a syringe. So I was able to do it a little bit before, but you probably want to have another person around, and also you'll need a syringe. So anyway, here's some slime for you, Tabs. You can play with that afterwards. Now, what happens if you need glue, but you've used it all to make slime? Well, you can actually make glue with just a couple of easy household ingredients. What you need is 2 tablespoons of, what did I say this was? Flour. Your sister is waking me up all night, so I no longer remember how to do things. She's 1. And then pour this in here.
Almost 2.
Well, she'll be 2 in December. Okay. So 2 tablespoons of flour. Now, what you're gonna do next, Tabs, I'm gonna pour this in and you stir, okay? Because we have to do little by little, okay?
Oh.
So, why don't you stir and I'll pour it in, okay? Here's your cauldron, and I'm gonna pour in. Okay, so start stirring, okay? Now what you want it to do is you want it to be a kind of a pretty sort of pasty paste. You don't want it to be too watery or too sticky, just right off the bat. A little bit more. Okay, good.
Sticky.
Getting pretty sticky.
You said you don't want it to be. I'll do it.
Well, you don't want it to be too, like, watery or whatever, too powdered.
Can I never get to pour it in?
I'll let you pour it in a minute. I have to make sure we don't pour all of it in, or people aren't going to know how we're doing it. Okay, so if you see, still getting a little bit doughy over here, and a little bit more water, Tabs. Would you want to pour some more in?
Can I pour it?
Mm-hmm.
All of it?
Just about half of it. Good. Okay. So we get a real sort of paste in here, and the more friction you can give it, the better. Okay. So it's kind of like a sort of pudding consistency. Okay. Now, all right, and it's sticking to my spoon, which I want it to do, but it's not sticking in my spoon quite too much. Now we're done with the water. That was enough.
Can I do this?
Sure. And now what we want to do is add a pinch of salt. Can you take a pinch of this? Very good. An adult pinch, just to let you know. So I'm going to put a little extra. There we go.
Can you put some on my hand? Sure.
Okay. All right, why not add more salt? Okay. You're going to mix this all together so you get a pretty good paste. Here you go. Here's your morning oatmeal.
Not your morning oatmeal. Don't eat it.
Yeah.
It's too hot.
All right. And then what you're going to do is put it in the fridge for 15-20 minutes. And that will give you a nice glue. So I'm going to walk over and put this in the fridge. And I will show you an example of how that worked next time. But that's how you make your own glue. When you take that out of the fridge, you'll have a passable glue, and it will work. And look, white you can add, you can add food coloring in if you want a different color glue.
I
There
want
you go.
yellow glue. I want yellow glue.
Okay, we'll make some yellow glue later, okay?
Yay.
So now that's not the kind of glue that will work with slime. It's a slightly different recipe, and so it won't necessarily bond with the activator quite as well. But it is a glue that you can use for projects, and it will stick, and it will hold, and for crafts and stuff like that. So thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you, as always, next week at 6 o'clock. If you've done any of the projects we've done here, please send me a message, and I'd love to see what you made. You can email direct message any of the library's social media accounts, or you can email Ryan at Desmond-Fish-Library.org. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Stay well, stay safe, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.